Wide leg pants are everywhere right now. They're on every mannequin, every influencer, every what to wear this season list. And I love them, truly. But here's what nobody's telling you. Wide leg pants can either be the most flattering, most elegant piece in your entire closet after 60, or they can add 10 years to how you look in about 3 seconds flat. And the difference between those two outcomes almost always comes down to a small handful of mistakes that most women don't even realize they're making. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Gracefully Styled 60 Plus. I'm so glad you're here today because we're doing a deep dive into wide leg pants, why they're actually one of the most age-appropriate, forgiving silhouettes you can wear after 60, and the specific mistakes that quietly sabotage them. I'm going to walk you through 4 mistakes today. The first 3 you may have already suspected. But mistake number 4 is the one almost nobody talks about. And once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it in your own closet or, honestly, in half the outfits you scroll past online. So stay with me all the way through, because this is the one that makes the biggest visual difference of all 4. If you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and the bell, because every single week we're breaking down real, wearable style for this incredible chapter of life. Let's get into it. Why wide leg pants work so well after 60. Before we get into the mistakes, I want to spend just a minute on why wide leg pants are actually such a wonderful option after 60, because understanding the why is going to help every single fix in this video make more sense. Here's the thing about our bodies as we move through our 60s and beyond. They change, and that's simply what bodies do at every stage of life. There's often a little more softness through the midsection, hips shift, and the kind of tight, second skin fit that worked in our 30s can start to feel less comfortable and, frankly, less flattering too. Skinny pants and tight through the leg trousers can cling to areas we'd rather skim past, and they can also be genuinely uncomfortable to sit in for long stretches. Wide leg pants solve this beautifully because they skim rather than cling. A wide leg falls in a long, clean vertical line from hip to hem, and that long, unbroken line does something wonderful for the eye. It elongates your entire lower body, and by extension, it elongates you. Instead of the eye stopping at a tight thigh or catching on a snug knee, the eye just glides straight down, which reads as leaner and taller, even if not a single measurement on your body has changed. Wide leg pants are also incredibly comfortable, which matters more than fashion magazines like to admit. You can sit, you can move, you can enjoy your day without constantly adjusting or tugging. And when you're comfortable, it shows. You stand differently, you carry yourself differently, and that confidence is its own kind of youthful glow. And this is the whole reason we're here today, wide leg pants are also a silhouette with real potential landmines. Because there's more fabric involved, there's more opportunity for that fabric to work against you instead of for you if a few key details aren't right. The good news is, every single one of these mistakes has a simple, specific fix. Let's start with mistake number 1. Mistake number 1. The wrong rise. Mistake number 1, and this one trips up so many of us, wearing wide leg pants with a low or mid-rise instead of a proper high rise. Here's why this matters so much more with wide leg pants specifically than with other silhouettes. A low or mid-rise pant sits below your natural waistline, which is already the narrowest point on most bodies. When you put a wide, voluminous leg underneath a low-slung waistband, you create a very specific and very unflattering shape, a small, narrow waistband on top with a wide, expanding leg blooming out underneath it. It visually shortens your torso and can make your midsection look wider than it actually is, simply because of that proportion mismatch. A high-rise wide-leg pant fixes this completely, and here's exactly why. When the waistband sits at, or very close to your natural waist, right around your belly button, sometimes even a touch higher, it does 2 things simultaneously. First, it lengthens your legs visually because more of what you're wearing below the waist reads as leg, even though technically some of it is pant fabric sitting higher on your torso. Second, it creates a defined waistline, which gives your whole silhouette an hourglass-adjacent shape instead of a shapeless column. That defined waist is often the single most youthful element of an entire outfit because it signals shape and structure rather than just volume. Here's how to check if a rise is actually working for you. The waistband should sit comfortably at your natural waist without gapping in the back when you sit down, and without digging in uncomfortably when you stand. If you find yourself constantly hiking up your pants throughout the day, that's a signal the rise is wrong for your body, regardless of what the size tag says. A quick styling note here, because the rise is higher, this is also your cue to tuck in your top, at least partially. A French tuck, where you tuck in just the front of a blouse or a sweater, is perfect for this. It shows off that natural waistline the high rise is creating, instead of covering it up with a long, loose top that cancels out the very benefit you just paid for. And one more thing on this. If you already own wide leg pants with a lower rise that you love otherwise, they're not necessarily unwearable. Just balance them with a slightly more fitted top that you can tuck or half tuck so you're not doubling up on volume both on top and on bottom. But if you're shopping for something new, go for the high rise every single time. It is, without question, the most important fitting detail in this entire silhouette. Mistake number 2, wearing them too long or too short. Mistake number 2, getting the hem length wrong. And this is a mistake that goes in both directions. So, let's talk about both. First, the too long version, which I see constantly. Wide leg pants that pull and bunch on the floor, dragging under your heel, with fabric crumpling at the ankle. I understand the temptation. A longer hem can feel more elegant, more designer, especially with a heel. But here's what actually happens visually. Fabric pooling on the floor adds visual weight right at the bottom of your silhouette, which is the exact opposite of what you want. It also, practically speaking, makes you look shorter because your eye registers where the visible leg line ends, not where the fabric technically stops. And beyond the visual issue, dragging hems wear out fast, they trip you on stairs, and they drag through everything from sidewalks to restaurant floors. It's a lose-lose. Then there's the opposite problem, wide leg pants that are too short, hitting well above the ankle in a way that reads as an ill-fitting hand-me-down rather than an intentional style choice. This chops the leg line at an awkward point and can make legs look shorter and heavier because there's a visible gap of skin or sock interrupting that long, clean vertical line we talked about earlier. So what's the fix? For a true wide leg trouser, you want the hem to just barely graze the top of your shoe when you're standing with flat shoes, or skim right at the floor with a slight break when wearing a heel, meaning there's a soft, single fold of fabric right where the pant meets the shoe, not a pile of extra material. If you're going for that trendy cropped wide leg look instead, the hem should hit right at the ankle bone cleanly, showing a little bit of ankle on purpose, not an inch or two above it, which reads as too small rather than intentionally cropped. Here's the part almost nobody wants to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway. Almost every single wide leg pant you buy off the rack needs to be hemmed. These pants are manufactured for an average length that fits almost no one perfectly, and unlike a fitted pant where an extra inch of length can hide under the hem, wide leg fabric shows every discrepancy in length because there's so much more fabric to catch and drag. Budget $10 to $25 and 10 minutes at a tailor for a proper hem, and I promise you it will transform how these pants look on you specifically, instead of how they look on the model, who is very likely several inches taller than you. One more tip here, bring the exact shoes you plan to wear most often to your hemming appointment, or at least a shoe of the same heel height. Hem length is entirely dependent on your shoe choice, so a pair hemmed for flats will look wrong with heels, and vice versa. If you wear both flats and heels regularly, consider having 2 pairs hemmed to 2 different lengths, or ask your tailor about hem tape you can adjust yourself for occasional heel days. Mistake number 3, pairing them with the wrong top. Mistake number 3, pairing wide leg pants with a top that's also loose, flowy, or oversized. This is such a common instinct, and I understand exactly why it happens. Wide leg pants feel relaxed and comfortable, so it feels natural to reach for an equally relaxed, comfortable top to match. But here's the problem with that pairing. When both your top and your bottom are loose and voluminous, you lose your waistline entirely, and your whole silhouette becomes one big rectangular shape from shoulder to ankle. There's no definition anywhere, and without any definition, even a beautifully proportioned wide leg pant just reads as a lot of fabric, rather than an intentional, elegant outfit. The fix is a principle I talk about often on this channel, and it applies perfectly here. Balance volume with structure. If your bottom half has volume, which a wide leg absolutely does, your top half needs to bring some shape and structure to counter it. This doesn't mean tight or restrictive. It means fitted, or at least well-defined at the waist. A few pairings that work beautifully, a fitted or slightly cropped sweater that hits right around the high-rise waistband, a tucked-in blouse with some structure to the fabric, a fitted turtleneck for cooler weather, or a well-tailored blazer that's cinched or belted at the waist over a simple fitted layer underneath. Each of these options gives you that crucial waist definition that wide-leg pants, on their own, don't provide. If you love the look of a longer top over wide-leg pants, and there are gorgeous outfits built that way, the trick is making sure that longer top still has some shape to it. Look for a longer tunic or a top with a defined waist seam, a belt you can cinch, or a silhouette that follows your body slightly rather than hanging completely straight down. A longer top that's also shapeless is where this mistake really compounds, because now you have volume up top, volume down below, and absolutely no waistline anywhere in the entire outfit. Layering is your best friend here too. A fitted cardigan or a structured vest over a simple top adds a layer of shape without adding bulk, and it gives you a natural place to add definition. Buttoning a cardigan at just the top button or belting a duster over a simple top instantly creates that waist point your eye's looking for. And here's a small but powerful detail. Tuck something always. Even with a slightly longer top, a partial front tuck, or tucking just the very front hem in, creates a visual break at the waist that changes the entire proportion of the outfit. It takes 10 seconds and it is, hand to heart, one of the highest impact styling tricks in this entire video. Mistake number 4. Forgetting about fabric weight and how it sits on your body. And now, mistake number 4. The one I promised you at the very beginning, the one most women genuinely don't know about, and the one that makes the single biggest visual difference on this entire list. Ignoring fabric weight and choosing wide-leg pants based on color or print alone, without ever considering how the fabric actually hangs on your particular body. Let me explain exactly what I mean, because this is subtle, but once you see it, you will notice it everywhere. Wide-leg pants, by their very nature, involve a lot of extra fabric, far more than a straight or slim pant. And how that fabric behaves is almost entirely determined by its weight and its fiber content, not by the cut of the pattern itself. Two wide-leg pants can be the exact same cut, the exact same color, even from the exact same brand, and look like two completely different garments on your body, purely because of what they're made from. Here's the problem with lightweight, flimsy fabric on a wide-leg pant. Thin, cheap synthetic blends, the kind that feel slippery and almost see-through when you hold them up to light, don't have enough structure to hold the shape of a wide leg. Instead of falling in that long, clean vertical line we talked about earlier, thin fabric clings, it flutters unpredictably in wind or air conditioning. It shows every line of your underwear, or your leg shape underneath, and honestly, it can look almost like pajama bottoms rather than intentional trousers. This is the single most common reason a wide-leg pant looks cheap or unflattering even when the cut and the color are genuinely beautiful. The fabric simply doesn't have the substance to hold its own shape. On the opposite end, extremely heavy, stiff fabric, think thick, unyielding denim or a rigid canvas like cotton, can hold its shape almost too well. It stands away from the body in a boxy, structured way that adds visual bulk, especially around the hip and thigh area, and it doesn't move naturally when you walk, which can actually look stiff and dated rather than elegant and flowing. The sweet spot, and this is the part almost nobody talks about, is a fabric with what's called good drape weight. This means fabric substantial enough to hold a clean vertical fall and skim past your body without clinging, but fluid enough to move naturally with each step. Think of fabrics like a good ponte knit, a wool blend crepe, a heavier rayon or tencel blend, or a midweight cotton twill with just a touch of stretch. These fabrics have enough structure to create that beautiful, elongating vertical line, but enough fluidity to swing gently as you walk, which is what makes wide-leg pants look effortlessly elegant on the women who seem to wear them perfectly, rather than stiff or sloppy. Here is a simple test you can do right in the store, or at home if you already own a pair. Hold the pant leg out and let it hang freely, then give it a gentle shake. Good drape weight fabric will fall back into a smooth, clean line almost immediately, with just a little natural sway. Fabric that's too thin will flutter chaotically and won't hold any shape at all. Fabric that's too stiff will barely move and will hold a static, boxy silhouette even after you shake it. Another quick way to judge this before you even try the pants on: scrunch a section of the fabric in your hand, then let go. Good drape weight fabric will fall out of the wrinkle fairly quickly and smoothly. If it holds a stiff, sharp crease, that's a sign the fabric may be too rigid for a flattering wide leg. If it feels almost weightless and slippery, that's a sign it may be too thin to hold its shape once you're walking around in it all day. This is exactly why the same wide-leg trouser can look absolutely stunning on your friend and just okay on you. Even in the same size and the same color, it's not a flaw in either of you. It's simply how that particular fabric's weight interacts with your particular body and movement. So the next time you're shopping for wide-leg pants, don't just look at the color and the cut. Actually touch the fabric, hold it up, give it a shake, and ask yourself honestly, does this drape, or does it either flutter uselessly or stand stiff like cardboard? That one habit alone will upgrade every single wide-leg pant purchase you make from this point forward. Putting it all together, a quick styling formula. Now that we've covered all 4 mistakes, I want to give you a simple formula you can use every single time you get dressed in wide-leg pants, so you never have to think through all 4 points from scratch again. High rise, hem to hit right at your shoe. A fitted or structured top that's tucked or half-tucked, and fabric with real drape weight that you've actually touched and tested before buying. That's it. That's the whole formula. High rise, correct hem, fitted top, good drape. If you check all 4 of those boxes, you genuinely cannot go wrong with this silhouette, regardless of your height, your body shape, or your budget. I also want to say, you don't need to buy an entirely new wardrobe to apply this. Go back through the wide-leg pants you already own with these 4 points in mind. You might find that a pair you'd written off simply needs a proper hem, or that pairing them with a different, more fitted top completely changes how they look on you. Sometimes the fix isn't a new purchase at all. It's just applying what you now know to what's already hanging in your closet. And here's a final thought I want to leave you with on this. Wide-leg pants, done correctly, are genuinely one of the most flattering, comfortable, and elegant options available to us after 60. They're not something to be cautious of or to avoid. They're something to get right once, and then enjoy for years. The mistakes we covered today aren't really about wide-leg pants being risky. They're about small, fixable details that stand between you and a silhouette that could become one of the most reliable, go-to pieces in your entire closet. Let's do a quick recap of all 4 mistakes, because I want these to really stick with you. Mistake number 1, the wrong rise. Choose high-rise, wide-leg pants, not low or mid-rise, to elongate your legs and define your waist. Mistake number 2, the wrong hem length. Get these tailored every single time to skim your shoe with flats or break gently with a heel, not pooling on the floor and not stopping too short. Mistake number 3, pairing them with another loose, shapeless top. Balance volume with structure, and don't be afraid to tuck. And mistake number 4, the one most women don't know, ignoring fabric weight. Look for real drape, not flimsy, clingy fabric, and not stiff, boxy fabric either. Here's your challenge for this week. Pull out every pair of wide-leg pants you own and run them through these 4 checkpoints, one at a time. I promise you'll immediately see which pairs are working beautifully for you already, and which ones just need one small fix to completely transform how they look. I would love to know, which of these 4 mistakes surprised you the most? Was it the rise, the hem, the top pairing, or that fabric weight tip at number 4? Drop a comment and let me know, because so many of my favorite future topics come directly from what you tell me you're curious about. If this video helped you look at your wide-leg pants a little differently, give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this video reach more women just like us. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on notifications, because next week we're tackling the biggest denim mistakes that quietly age us just as much as the wrong pair of pants. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, style after 60 isn't about avoiding trends or playing it safe. It's about understanding the small details that let you wear anything, including a beautiful pair of wide-leg pants, with total confidence. I'll see you in the next one.